Hey guys, how's it going? Scott here with Seymour Duncan, and right now I am joined by Mr. John Mooy, guitar tech extraordinaire, and it's true. And you came down today with because you're tech for George Benson and his band, and you brought down Stanley Banks's jazz bass.
Right.
And what we're going to do is he already uses Seymour Duncan pickups, but we're going to put in a set of Weather Report set, or the Weather Report set, which is a set that Seymour basically made for Jocko.
Right.
And Jocko, killer tone, so you know it sounds good. You can get that from the custom shop, just call it MJ. But the reason that we wanted to talk to John here was because the music industry has so many aspects to it. And there's people you see and there's people you don't see. And one of the guys behind the scenes that makes it possible for your artist to be on stage and sound great is guys like John, who is a guitar tech, professional guitar tech.
The guys in the black that hand the guitars to the rock and roll stars.
Have you ever tripped doing that?
Oh God, yeah.
That's really happened?
The worst is when you have your fly open. That's really bad. You do a whole show.
Well, who points it out? Like the artists?
Some people in the front row.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's like they point and you think, oh hi, they're waving at me.
they're being, that's a very courteous audience.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so first question is.
That's an outtake.
No, this is raw, man. Lock up raw, Seymour Duncan. So, how did you get started being a guitar tech?
I got started. I born and raised here in Santa Barbara, so I used to go down to the swap meet over here at the old theater when I was a little kid. And I'd buy these old Sears Silvertone guitars and Montgomery Ward guitars and stuff like that were just hammered. I'd pay $1.50 for them, But this is like 1969, 1971 when I was 11, 12 years old. And I'd just repair them and fix bicycles. I just grew up over here at Max Galita Schwint when I was there a long time ago. So it was bicycles and skis and guitars for me. Follow your bliss.
Right.
Work in something, do what you like to do. And I was at the Santa Barbara County Bowl. I just decided that I really liked what all those guys behind the scenes were doing whenever I'd go to a show there. We'd always sneak in to the bowl. And that was the old days before the bowl had the
security,
staging and everything else, and the security. So there was an artist there, and they broke a guitar, and I said, I'll fix it for you. So I rode home on my Schwinn Stingray with this old Gibson and repaired the headstock and brought it back by showtime. And the guy said, how old are you? And I said, I'm 17. And he goes, want to make some money?
Oh wow. Just started from that.
Started from that. I pretty much, I lived in Colorado for a long time, so I guitar tech for a lot of the artists that lived in Colorado.
Okay.
On and off. So it just kind of blossomed. It was one of those things that just kind of happened. Back in the heyday, it was a fantastic paying job. Now, not so much.
Even for like the bigger artists?
Even for the bigger artists.
Oh, wow.
It's really not, it's nowhere near what it used to be. It still pays a lot better than, most jobs that you have at home.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. But the pay nowadays has been cut probably by almost 2/3.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Is that because there's so many good people to choose from, or is it because...
No, it's actually because of the demise of the record companies. In the old days, the record companies, they paid for tours. And, there was all the backing, for these various artists, so there was money.
Yeah.
It was great. There was a front of house engineer, there was a tour manager, there was, a guitar tech for every artist, there was a bass tech, there was a drum tech, keyboard techs. And the crews were huge. Now, because the artists don't sell CDs anymore, or albums, now it's a tour manager and front of house combined.
Right.
Monitor engineer / tour manager, or there's guitar tech. The guitar tech is also the keyboard tech. He does all the tracks now, et cetera, et cetera. So you got to make yourself really indispensable. Just to be a guitar tech alone is kind of rare, to be honest with you, these days. You really have to know everything.
Okay.
And especially, like Pro Tools, stuff like that, because so many bands run tracks on stage. It's just
Okay, so before, back in the day, it was, or probably not even that long ago, it was, you just had to be handy, right? So a skill set was just, I can repair a guitar,
Yeah.
I can make it play great,
Mm-hmm.
no matter what city I land in, it's going to be perfect. But now, you might have to know a few different instruments, like mixing boards.
Yeah.
So if someone wants to get started,
Yeah.
what's like a good...
And you also have to have that, I don't know if it's naivete or utter stupidity or complete crazy balls, just to, if somebody says, we need a drum tech, I do it. I did it on a major tour. I had never set up a drum set in my life. Now my older brother, Mike, used to run Mike's drum shop for many years.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And he wasn't Mike of Mike's drum shop, but he managed it for many years. And I used to watch him. So from that, I just did it.
Okay.
And it was one of those things where sometimes the skill set gets overplayed by the just sheer determination.
So you need to be tough, basically, to do it.
Yeah, pretty much. The other thing, as far as it has cost me dearly with family stuff, because you are gone from home. But I'm one of those guys who, I love airports. I don't mind airports at all. I don't mind the travel. I don't mind. I dig it. It's fun.
And you were saying before we got rolling that how many miles did you log this year?
Just this last year with George, 200,000 just on United Airlines.
Holy cow!
So yeah, I mean it was with the rock and roll stuff. Like when I was with Kenny Loggins for quite a long time, and on and off with David Crosby's band and CSN occasionally. It's the standard United States gigs, and as the acts get older, they morph into the casino gigs a lot more now. But with George, with the jazz gigs, the travel is insane. I mean, I never thought I'd see Port Elizabeth, South Africa, and get to walk on the beaches there. I never thought I'd get to hang out in Singapore.
Right.
I'd walk around Macau and take pictures. I'd bring my camera wherever I go. I mean, it's just sometimes you pinch yourself. Wow. But yeah, there's a level of patience too, because there's so much hurry up and wait. There's a lot of that too.
And I wanted to ask now, since you tour like a guitar tech that you're going to go to different countries, what's the difference between being a tech, like when you're just playing a state, even if it's an arena here in the States, versus when you travel overseas? Like what problems can you encounter that's unique to either one?
Almost all the problems revolve around the proper electricity.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, whenever you tour, it's 220. So you got to make sure you have the right transformers. You got to make sure you bring a voltmeter with you. I mean, that's
right.
That's my most valuable tool, even over string winders and everything else. I mean,
voltmeter. Okay.
Yeah, you make sure that you're getting the proper voltage, because you'll blow out all your gear. And a lot of those countries too, when you're over there, you blow something up, you're screwed. I mean,
there's not a Radio Shack nearby, or you can't get fuses anywhere easily.
And it's gotten a lot better, especially in Europe. It's much better, in Asia as well. So yeah, it's one of those. I find that making yourself as indispensable as possible and learning as much as you can about everything. If you want to get started in this, I'd say go down to your local club or venue or theater or wherever they have concerts, and just ask, hey, can I help push cases? Start at the bottom and learn what downstage right, upstage left, learn what truss motors are. I mean, just the whole theater, the whole theater thing itself. Really get that basic knowledge first, because that's your day-to-day, work environment. If you don't know when somebody yells "truss coming in," what that means, you can get squished. really
Right.
easy, and it's an incredibly dangerous work environment. You know, I mean, people know about these stages that, you know, collapsed and that kind of thing. I've been in a couple of myself, and it's incredibly scary, and it's a very dangerous workplace. So, you know, if you're going to get involved with it, it's not just, oh, I get to fix guitars and I get to, you know, there's so much more than that. It's a lot of heavy lifting. It's my back is trashed. You know,
from the years of
just lifting amps out of cases and, you know, loading cases in the truck. You're basically a very well paid moving man, because you're moving a lot of road cases every day. You know, the show part, and, you know, once you get the guitars out and you're actually, you know, that's when it's fun.
Right.
You know.
But you're a lifer, and a lot of people. Do you see what's like the lifespan usually of a tech though?
I've been doing it on and off now for about 35 years. I really, after my kids got older, I really got back into it. For like the last 13 years, like full time. You know, I've seen some people last one show, and I've seen some people last forever. You know, when you're on the road, there's a certain element of having to know how to live small as well. I mean, you got 12 guys in a bus, and if you don't respect their space and clean up after yourself, and you're going to hear about it. You know, I mean, it's not. I tour managed for a little bit, and once I started with George, I kind of put the tour managing thing aside.
Okay.
I was tour managing quite a bit, you know, if you don't take care of yourself and watch out for the rest of the team that you're with, the tour manager's going to come down on you pretty hard, and they're going to, you know, just go home. So you got to know how to live small, pick up after yourself, be on time. That's a huge thing. It's a very disciplined thing. If you're late, you keep the whole bus waiting even 5 minutes. That bus is sitting there idling with a whole crew of people.
Not good.
You probably just wasted $300-400 off of that tour, just in overages for the driver, fuel costs. You know, it could be, you know, you could be late for the venue, and the union guys that are union local stagehands are, you know, waiting for you. That costs money, so you have to. Everybody's on time. You know, it's the other thing that's really changed a lot in the last few years. And this is getting to the tour manager thing. My ADD kicked in.
It's okay. Have a good time.
Is that the riders have changed on the contracts. In the old days, it used to be, you know, packs of cigarettes and you know, bottles of whiskey and vodka and everything. Now it's, I mean, you know, macrobiotic food, and this person's a vegetarian and this one's a vegan, and you know, so that's the biggest headache on a tour right now.
Oh, really?
It's not the drugs, sex, and rock and roll that it used to be. Now it's pretty much everybody goes to bed early, and you know, they get up and they all eat properly. They get up and they jog in the morning. So it's a whole different.
So it's like
from the old days.
Ben Gay now and cornflakes.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah.
Other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you know, the old days it was a much more unhealthy lifestyle, and these days it's much different on tours. So, you know, the profession itself, it's a lot of fun. It is a young man's game. If I was still in the rock and roll end of it, I'd probably be done.
Yeah.
Being in the jazz end now, it's. This sounds so pretentious, but it is a bit more civilized.
Yeah.
You know, the tour managers and the you know, the players and even the techs. I mean, we're all older. We like to get our 8 hours in.
Right.
We like to eat in the morning. We all have our routines. So it's very civilized, and it's pretty nice.
And then George Benson will kind of wrap up, but George is a classy guy, right?
He's awesome.
I saw him at NAMM, just has like a presence.
I have a saying that I tell people all the time, that always tell people there's no way that George Benson, Jimmy Messina, and Graham Nash could all be in the same room at the same time, because they're all the nicest person in show business. And I've got to work for all three of them, and I still work a lot with Jimmy, and he was just, I would crawl through glass and alcohol for that man. He's been an absolutely incredibly kind, wonderful man to me and my family, and I can't say enough good things about him. George he's just awesome.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's at his age, he probably didn't need to tour. He just does it because he loves it. He loves playing still, and the band is great. The management team's great. The crew that I work with, they're all, we all watch each other's back because we travel in some pretty bizarre areas.
Right.
We're going to an African country pretty soon, and it's just one of those things where we all take care of each other. So it's
a family.
Cool. Yeah.
That's
and
really
there's quite a few bands like that you'll see the same bands looking for crew every 3 months. There's like 10 or 12 bands that are always looking for crew, and word gets out nowadays. Don't work for these people because they treat their crew terribly. And the people that don't look for crew, if you look at it, like Crosby, Stills and Nash,
right.
I mean, that's family. Neil Young's crew is just, it's family. The Grateful Dead crew, it's, these core group of people, and they all take care of each other. They all know each other's habits, and it's this traveling little unit, and it's a lot of fun. It can be pretty cool. I enjoy it.
I feel like I just the Buddha of guitar techs just spoke with me. That was great.
I don't know about that.
Well, next time, so George.
Next time anybody sees me screaming at the top of my lungs on stage,
No, you're cool.
That's the Buddha. He's a dick.
So next time you can see George and Stanley on stage. Look at this guy. I mean, practically part of the band.
We're actually. There's quite a few more shows being planned from the United States. George plays so often overseas, but starting to play. It's a great show. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's a kick. It's hit after hit, and it's like.
It's great. All right, guys. Scott with Seymour Duncan here. Have a good one.